Now, we go over into the Flake. Here is William Jordan Flake. His parents joined the church when he was a boy, 8 or 9 years old, down in the South. They had slaves. They freed the slaves and went to join the church in Nauvoo. They were there only a short time when this prophet Hiram were killed, and so they needed to make preparations to go to the west. So he went back down Mississippi, traded his property, got some mules and horses, and carried this go to the west with. And then he came up, a great pioneer. Grandpa followed in the steps of his father. He was only about 9 years old when he went across the plains. His father helped with the group, and then when he got into the west, they were asked to go to California and select a place down there. I'm telling this because grandfather was left an orphan at a tender age. Great-grandfather was killed on a horse. Grandfather was left with his widow's mother, who didn't live too much longer. After they'd settled in San Bernardino, California, she died, leaving him an orphan at 15. He became a great pioneer. Next we see him with his 2 wives, Grandma Lucy White Flake and Prudence Karchner, and pictures of them following. They were great pioneers. He was a pioneer in Utah. As a boy, he came from the California area and went up into Beaver, Utah, and then moving to Arizona. He was a pioneer and did a lot to settle the northeastern part of Arizona. He found he wasn't happy in the settlements down on the Little Colorado River, and so he went to find a better place. He went over into Mexico, made a big trip around, came back and crossed the Silver Creek where the Snowflake area now is. There he saw a place that could be settled the way he wanted it, and things could be made for a good colony, a good settlement. He found James Stinson and was able to make a deal with him to trade him Utah cattle for the Snowflake Valley. At that time in the Snowflake Valley, there was only these 2 buildings beside a kind of a shed for saddle stock and whatnot. But my dad later on was born in one of those buildings, so that's why we have them here. All right. After he had made a deal with Stinson to buy the place, he went back down on the Colorado where the group were that he had been with, told them he was going to Snowflake and if any of them wanted to join. A number of them went with him, and he came up and started his little town there on the Silver Creek, where Snowflake now is. Elderasta Snow, one of the 12, was kind of in charge of the housing in the settlements in that area. So he came out, met grandfather. They talked over about his little town, and there's where the name started, Snowflake. He suggested Elder Snow's name, and Elder Snow suggested him, so they named it. And we have a great respect for Rasta Snow, who helped a lot in the settlement there. Going on, we have a picture of Grandpa and some of his sons, and then Grandpa and some of his daughters and sons together. And then here, the last picture there is grandfather with some of the younger children, and Dad is among them there. Following that, they built a big academy, called it the Academy, and it was a school, a good-sized one, and they were happy to have it. It was burned, and they rebuilt it. In the center there was Dad holding a shovel, and he worked in that. Following that, we have a little picture of Dad and one of his sisters, I think, probably Aunt Mary, and Uncle John standing behind, Dad sitting to the right. Now we go down to Dad as a grown man, Joel White Flake. Dad had some abilities, and we appreciate him. And when he set his mind to do something, he generally got it done. He's riding a horse there, and Dad loved horses. Had a great ability to handle them. Following there is Dad, with a picture with Aunt Clara at the top. Down below is Lucy, his first wife, the one who really helped him get going. And then Mom, who blessed his life for a number of years. Next we see Lucy with the little Mary that died, and Grandpa, her dad. Lucy left him with 4 children alive, and then little Mary who had passed on. Now we have Mom and Dad. They're at the old Gibson place on the range. Dad's later years were spent with Aunt Clara, and he spent many years serving in the temple.